A wonderful Wednesday evening to all. Gabriel Lopez here, homegrown and pleased to bring you PTV News Now. And let's get to the stories people are buzzing about. Efforts by trade and industry officials and technocrats in government since late July to trim the 19% tariff on Philippine exports to the United States have finally paid off. This after Trade and Industry Chief Secretary Cristina Roque, along with the newly anointed Finance Secretary Frederick Go, announced in a presser yesterday the U.S. government's exemption of certain Philippine agricultural exports in the amount of $1 billion. This welcome development comes at the heels of U.S. President Donald Trump's order to spare certain Philippine agricultural exports to the United States from the 19% existing tariff rate he announced after President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. came calling on him at the Oval Office late July this year. Prior to the president's Washington trip, Trump ordered a 17% tariff for the Philippines in the fateful spring day in April he dubbed America's Liberation Day. Even more, Philippine exports to America for years before April 2025 were tariff-free. Amid mounting complaints from student commuters over refusal by jeepney drivers to honor 20% student discounts on long holiday weekends and days of class suspensions, the LTFRB warned PUV drivers and operators of monetary fines or license suspensions if reports persist and documented complaints are filed against them. LTFRB Chief Vigor Mendoza II, in a statement earlier today, issued this stern message to drivers and operators who charge student commuters regular fare on core holidays and suspended class days. Mendoza cited the clear provisions in Section 4 of Republic Act 11314, granting currently registered or enrolled students a 20% reduction transport fare during holidays. Public transfer drivers or operators who refuse to comply shall have their licenses suspended for 3 months and fined 1,000 pesos for each recorded offense. On the other hand, PUV operators in violation of Republic Act 11314 face a maximum fine of 15,000 pesos and a revocation of their certificates of public convenience or franchises. Students who wish to file complaints on erring drivers can do so through LTFRB social media accounts or by way of their hotline seen on your screen. The British royal family, headed by King Charles III, is composed of Queen Camilla, Prince William, his wife, sons and daughter, Charles' siblings Anne and Edward and their families, among others, and not limited to those of the Windsor family. And they are rich, their financial health drawn from what is called a sovereign grant, which this VOA dwells on this feature report.
Where does the British monarchy get its money? The royal family's funding comes from the sovereign grant, which is based on the profits of the Crown Estate, a property business that belongs to the monarch for the duration of his or her reign. It's independently run. The size of the sovereign grant each year is determined by the Crown Estate's profits. Typically, the royal family receives 15% of the profits, with the remainder going to the government. Recently, that amount has risen to 25% in order to cover the cost of refurbishing Buckingham Palace. Some of the property owned by the Crown Estate can be traced to Edward the Confessor, who ruled from 1042 to 1066, but the estate as a whole is from the time of the Norman Conquest. In 1760, King George III agreed to surrender his income from the Crown Estate to the government in exchange for a fixed annual payment originally known as the Civil List, and later replaced by the Sovereign Grant in 2010. The funds from the Sovereign Grant cover royal duties, including receptions, travel costs, garden parties, and school visits. But most of the funds are spent on maintaining royal palaces and covering staff salaries. But the Sovereign Grant isn't the only source of income for the royal family. The Duchy of Lancaster, a private estate that covers more than 18,000 hectares of land throughout Lancashire, Yorkshire, and central London, creates some $23 million in profits each year. There is also the privately owned Duchy of Cornwall, which covers land in southwest England and also generates about $23 million per year for whomever holds the title of the Duke of Cornwall. How money is spent from the Duchies of Lancaster and Cornwall is not shared with the public. Additionally, the king earns income from large estate homes that he personally owns, such as Balmoral Castle in Scotland, as well as through private art, jewelry, and other collections. The British monarchy is not legally liable for income taxes, capital gains taxes, or inheritance taxes. Although Queen Elizabeth II and King Charles III have voluntarily paid taxes on the profits from their respective duchies. Some say the costs of the royal family are much higher than reported because security is covered by the Metropolitan Police. But others argue that those costs are outweighed by the monarchy's other contributions to the economy, such as driving tourism.
So that's a wrap for tonight's show. Join us anew tomorrow for another set of major stories here and abroad breaking at the hour. Likewise, stay connected by catching the news right here. Gabrielle Lopez here, wishing you another restful night ahead, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.